recording, and then I'm gonna go brush my teeth. You guys can take care of everything else, right?
Yeah. I thought you said it wasn't going to be on Twitch. I thought you said it was going to be on YouTube.
It was going to be, but it wouldn't let me stream on YouTube. It would not let me.
Damn.
You need to get permission in advance to stream on YouTube, and he didn't know that in advance.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think you need like what,
I
1,000 subscribers or something.
So tired that I'm feeling sick.
All right, you
Oh
guys...
man, my icon like barely changes when
no.
I'm talking. Damn.
I'll be right back.
Oh well.
So you guys can chat and hang out for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, you guys can actually see the things I've been building, or at least one thing I've been building.
Nice. Okay. I'm also going to be right back. I need to grab something for the direct because I'm an audience participant, but speaking. Yeah.
Looks like y'all are stuck with me.
Yeah, you sure are. See ya.
Because Mr. Briar himself is gone. I don't know if Marvelous is here right now. I'm the only one who can talk.
I'm here.
Ah, damn. I'm gonna punch you.
Okay, I got the thing. It was a lot closer to me than I thought it was, which is fortunate.
Ah, nice. How epic is the diet? I just got here, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
Wait, Fish, am I supposed to like act that I know everything? Because
we act that Fish knows everything because Fish does know everything, and I know as much as you because.
I was about to say, Fish, are we supposed to pretend that we actually know what the game is about?
If you don't know something, you ask someone who does, which is either Fish or Marv, because I'm pretty sure you two are like the most knowledgeable. Other than me, I also know a lot of things because Fish just tells me stuff.
The only thing I know is what the map looks like and like a couple names of the areas.
That's because you're in charge of it, right?
I mean, yeah, technically, I'm the one
maybe not
building
in charge, but
yeah, like beyond that, I know almost nothing about like the actual gameplay of Briar.
He will probably talk about it.
So that's it. Like you could pull up like Airy or some random person from the audience, and they would have a better idea than I would probably. He sent like a whole info dump about stuff. Let me see if I can find that and like give it a brisk read through before I. Yeah, here it is. Major talking points. Let's see. I will not be reading this out loud. Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's going to code that.
All right.
All right. He didn't expound on what that is, but okay,
yeah,
sure.
A lot of the stuff is like not expanded on, but it's probably like really in his brain. We just gotta tell him, Fish. You gotta put it on paper.
Yeah, I'm reading from the architecture
and then it'll
chat.
become reality.
He put progression in here, but then he didn't say about how it works at all. He just said like what we're gonna talk about, which I can't talk about what I don't know, but it will.
Yeah.
I do not have access to any talking points.
I've gotten pinged. Can I get your opinion on the top 10 least favorite Project Moon characters voted by the community? I don't know who they are, and I hate all of them. Thank you.
Yeah, he barely actually says anything about what the game itself is about. Okay, sure, whatever.
There, I answered your question. 100% have characters I don't like. Yeah, all of them. What do you think about the Industrial Revolution and its consequences? I like being able to sit at a computer and look at Briar, but pollution kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taro asking if I'm in game. In what game, Taro? I'm not playing any games right now.
Sorry, I was testing my audio because I have the stream muted, so that way I don't hear everybody.
Are you asking me all the questions? I mean, thank you. Oh, the direct has started. It is officially 6 p.m. Welcome everybody to the Briar Developer Direct. I am just ad-libbing. I'm not actually supposed to be up here. I'm not actually in charge of any of the stuff. No, I'm not a developer.
Here.
I am not. So I'm gonna ad-lib a little bit. So the Briar Direct, we're gonna tell everybody here. We're gonna spread information
everybody,
on a ton of stuff about Briar. Oh, hey, Fish.
I've returned.
I leaked all of Briar while you were gone because the direct started. It's been a minute.
That's so cool, but like,
Okay.
I
Okay. Sorry, Tara. What was your question? I don't want to dodge it.
there's only 10 people in audience. It's fucked up.
That's okay though.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
if you
5
want,
people watching.
we could wait a little bit, see if anyone else shows up.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Am I coded into the game? I assume you're talking about Briar. I don't know.
Probably not.
Okay, I got pinged with a
Well,
video.
I'm the main coder, and I haven't coded you into the game, so
Wait.
that solves that.
Okay.
Wait,
Pinging me. Can we make nuclear bombs in Briar? You can ask Taro about that. Taro knows a
I'll
lot about that.
consider it.
Atomic bombs.
Fish, I just realized that the background that has the image is not final product disclaimer in the bottom left is completely covered by you and me.
Yeah, no, I was
There we
gonna
go.
fix that when I got back.
There we go. Now you're just slightly floating.
I'm fine with levitation. That's not
fine.
what I wanted to. Don't worry about it.
Unprofessional management.
Sorry.
We're seeing everything.
Hold on, I'm trying to window capture. Here it is. No, I don't want it to be visible yet. Let me set it up first. All right, there we go. That's perfect. Now let me make it visible.
Is this the actual Briar logo?
Let's see.
Yeah.
If you multiply 8 by 9, what would you get? So
We're seeing the
multiplication.
thing.
8 and 9.
All right, so we have text in the top.
Just the
left.
chat.
All right.
I think
I'm gonna answer.
Kirby, that would be 72.
All right, everybody, calm
Can
down.
this
Calm
screen-
down.
Can this screen get any more cluttered? Oh my god.
Probably.
Why-
Here, let me add something else. Let me add some more.
I feel like I'm in a podcast.
Pretty much.
Hold on, let me just
Can I
let's
Why do
just-
you hate
Freak
me?
Out 12 homework? I can. If it's about Briar, I can, but unfortunately, if it's not Briar related, I can't help you. So you're just gonna have to rephrase it to be more
What
Briar.
do you mean
Let
I betrayed you?
Let me find another image to add. How about the RuneScape
Yeah, if you
chick?
can make it Briar related, I'll be able to help you.
I'll put the RuneScape chick.
Bro.
RuneScape chick in there.
Oh my god.
He'll be hanging out like he's just gonna look there. All right, everybody.
I might actually throw up.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Listen. Okay.
Fish do the intro. Fish do the thing.
All right,
I'll be-
everybody. Before we truly begin, I will be answering some questions regarding Briar. Please stop cluttering the chat for a minute and start asking questions. Let's see some questions. There is permadeath in Briar. You cannot build C4. Now, I'll stick to Taro's question. Taro, the permadeath system works like this. Now, there are 2 deaths total, of which you can regain lives through various means. I'll most likely make it pretty easy to regain a life. But it'll probably be 1 use per certain thing. I'd say, like, gaining a new obelisk. Gaining a new, I forget the name of my own creation. Beautiful. Basically, oh, shit, they lost Subway Surfers! Anyways, if that's how you get a life back. Now, these...
Small
yes?
question. You said 2 lives? Is this similar to, like, what Deepoken's done with their life system?
Yes, this is the life plan I had in mind for T-Game for, like, 6-7 years or something. I don't know. For a while, I have no fucking idea. And I was kind of disappointed when Deepoken did a very similar thing. Because you see,
We're saying it's good and we're still going to do it because it's a good mechanic.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to change it just because somebody else did it as well. Now,
Fine.
there's
All right.
2 life permadeath. In most areas, you will have 2 lives, and if you die, you are sent to the afterlife, which I will detail later because there's a lot to talk about regarding the afterlife. However,
Fish, can you move your mouse? It's
Yeah,
really
sure.
cluttering up the chat.
here, let me just. All right, it's much
On the
better.
Discord
Now you
side.
see.
There you go.
Now, in certain areas, you will be under 1 life permadeath. Examples of these are dungeons, later levels of dungeons, not like the very beginning dungeons, because I don't want like several hundred people to wipe for just like 1 dungeon. And also certain end game areas or danger zones, such as areas where you are out of reach. Out of reach being out of reach for the spirits to just kind of like help you out, your soul gets lost basically. And if you die in one of those areas, you default to going to the afterlife, which again, I will talk about more later. Now, dying in Briar, you will lose some, or if not most of your items out of your inventory, although there will be ways to save certain items. Items that you equip will not be lost unless stated otherwise. Certain items, if you equip them, such as, I'd say, if you have a quest-related item, like a sack that you're able to equip as a backpack, and you die, you will drop that. but those cases will be few and far between. And once you reach the afterlife, which I'll start talking about more now, there is a few ways to play around in there. Now, the longer you're in the afterlife, well, the less of a chance you have of getting out, because you're slowly being reintegrated into the system and you will soon be reincarnated, meaning you are on a time limit. When you're logged out, that time limit does not count because that would just be kind of stupid. And yeah, there is different methods of progression in the afterlife and different ways to reach the afterlife, because you don't have to die to reach the afterlife. There are certain ways, like if you go through a rift, if you are sent there by some means, or of course just dying. And in the afterlife, some classes will be locked to afterlife progression, such as unlocking I'd say one would be Singularity, and maybe Duality Mage would be one example. Singularity especially, because Singularity is when you rejoin two parts of the Duality Soul, with the Duality class being you have one soul when you spawn in. When you're born, that is your soul. You have an element ingrained into your soul, one you pick yourself, and you progress with that. Duality Mage allows you to unlock a second element, which you can use with just as much efficiency, because mages can sometimes use second elements, although they will be much weaker and much more costly. Duality Mages circumvent that entirely, as the whole concept of a Duality Mage is to have a second element you can use just as well as your first one. Singularity Mage is the Briar of a Duality Mage, with the Duality Mage being a sprout.
Just pause for a second. Did you say Briar?
Crap, you caught me, but yeah. And a Singularity Mage is rather unique because you will get elements locked to this class. There is no other way to get this element, because a Singularity Mage is when your two souls, the one soul that's grafted onto you and the soul you were born with, are merged together. You reach peace with the soul, and
Is it a
well,
good idea to be talking about the classes like this early on when the game hasn't been released?
I'm only giving some examples related to afterlife progression at the moment. And for Singularity, when those two souls join together, so do the elements. Now, an example of conjoined elements will be, well, they're likely going to be procedurally generated because there's a lot of elements in Briar, and scripting a new element for combination elements will, well, probably take a while. But we will probably script some special combination elements depending on the generation of the Singularity element, because some of them might not be as good as others, and I like to keep balance or equality. And of course, through duality progression, you get to pick what your second element is, and same with Triality Mage, which is the Rosen of duality. And now I'll be getting more into class specifications with.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I kind of direct you to ask some questions to guide you for information?
Yeah,
people are asking what these words are meaning. So you're saying Briar and Rosen, and there's like another one.
I was just about to explain those. Yes.
And triality. People don't know what these mean.
Don't worry.
You should probably build off of like how classes work, and like classes in Briar as a structure, as a system.
Thank you. I was about to do that, which is back to what I was saying before about the class structuring being sprouts, Rosens, and Briars. Now, with the class system in Briar, how it works is you have different classes you could pick. And for sprouts, which you can imagine as the quote-unquote first class, which is just based on whatever you want to pick, whatever path you have, that kind of thing, you can either go one of three ways, or rather one of two ways. Way one would be hybridizing, which is when you're able to have two different classes. Some classes will have unique effects will hybridize, an example being a great combination, which I strongly recommend, Mage Hand and any fist class, really. Because Mage Hand is the sprout of Spellblade Rosen.
Wait, okay, so are you saying that sprouts are the ones which you can go as two classes?
Yep.
So the tiers
sprouts are below Rosens. Rosens are equal to Briars, although Briars are a little bit above. Which
so just a little bit.
I'll get into in a moment, don't worry.
So they're like perfect versions. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rosens are, you can kind of imagine them as the mastery. If you are a Rosen, that is the furthest you can go from most classes. Although there is something called a Briar, which is the perfected form of classes. And these are either directly obtainable, where you go from Sprout to Briar, or they're obtainable through other means, where you go from Sprout to Rosen, then unlock Briar. And in the cases where you go Rosen to Briar, you will unlock additional abilities or upgrades depending on the Briar you get.
What's the difference between those two progressions you said? Sprout to Rosen, then Briar, and then, or just Rosen to Briar? I don't understand.
Now, there's a lot of classes and a lot of paths you can pick in Briar. And ones that are considered incomplete or imperfect are Rosens, and ones that are considered perfected or completed are Briars. These are the apex of that class. An example being Taekwondo.
Were you saying there's a possibility that you can skip Rosen to get to Briar?
Yes, because if a class you're being taught by the trainer is already perfected, it's already a Briar, then instead of getting Rosen, you would just get a Briar. Although you'd likely be considered a Rosen once you first get the class before you max it, because you have an imperfect version of it.
Yo, should I tell about how in-depth customization is or not?
I'll be getting into that soon. I'm currently answering questions.
Yeah, personally, I would say that
maybe we should look for some more
quest options. I should probably group them soon.
Oh yes, please do that now. Actually, all right.
Should we
check.
get back to chat questions? Maybe.
Yes, I'm going to the next question since I have detailed classes a bit. Kusi, yes, there is a lot of customization for one magic attack because of how magic crafting works. Basically, no one spell will be the same. Now, in magic crafting, there are 3 elements, being, well, your element, such as fire, water, bramble, fungal, etc. Cores, which are things like, well, you have 2 cores. You have a negative and a positive. And these cores are all the same, which they give the same buff or debuff. Let's say a -5 in range or a +5 in range. You could have a range upgrade and a attack damage downgrade for a spell, and that will increase the range but lower the attack potency. You can have a speed increase but an attack down, which will weaken the spell, make it less strong, attack potency once more, and increase the speed at which it travels or casts. Or you can have a cost upgrade or downgrade, and an example being another power upgrade or downgrade. Now, these are interchangeable. You can, if there is a core that is positive, you can assume that it has a negative counterpart. And those cores are optional. You don't have to pick one. You can have no core. That's perfectly fine. And next up would be aspects. Aspects are the building blocks of spells. These are the conduits of which your spell is casted through. An example being Fletcher. If you cast a spell with no aspects, it'll just be, say for flame, it'll just be a plume of flame in front of you. No flamethrower, just flame appearing, either around you or just in front of you. But if you add a Fletcher element, that flame will take on a shape. The shape it takes on will be that of a flying projectile, such as an arrow, could be a throwing knife, could be even a bullet. And if you add an aspect after that, it could be homing, which would cause that projectile to home in. Fletcher technically gives 2 traits, which is 1, projectile shape, and 2, projectile activation, which is when the 1, it takes on the shape of a projectile, and 2, it travels as a projectile, which is basically just when it is sent flying forward. And there's a lot.
This is not the best explanation in the world.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay,
Here.
Here. Let me imagine this. From what I'm getting, this sounds like a system similar to Arcane Odyssey, where you choose the shape of something except you craft it. Honestly, though, my guy, I think for now, since the best thing to say for now is to simplify it as much as you can. You're going into like deep lore stuff that's like pretty far off. You should probably talk about the base ideas, what you want to have started working on, and like the first few things that you want to have finished to like help people understand where the game is at and what you plan to do.
Yeah, if I can comment, it may be best to like spend no more than 5 minutes on a single question and not get super in depth like this, because one, you want to keep some mystery for the people, but also 2, we're gonna run out of time if you
make a very good point. We're already 15 minutes in.
Yeah, so I'd say like spend 1 or 2 minutes at most. If you're gonna start trailing off onto something, like, you can say what the general thing is, but don't go too in depth on stuff, and you'll be good.
All right.
Dude, I'm autistic, and even I go on rants, but these rants are just wow.
Yeah, like the whole duality class and what, like I understand you wanted to
I-
make an example, but it may be better to be a little bit slower and like a little bit less detailed, so that way we can actually get to everybody's questions in time.
All right.
Okay, so
Good point.
Since we're already 15 minutes in, if you have had anything that you prepared that you wanted to speak of, like as a big point, you should probably get that out now, and then we'll go back to questions.
All right.
Wait for me to remove
I
all
will
the,
quickly
face things,
summarize.
so we don't have we can't show the face stuff right now. I need to do that
Also,
probably right now, right? You want me to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right.
And I will summarize some questions that I would like to answer. One, there's a lot of customization for a macro attack. 2, there's no layer 2. 3, we can expect early testing, either early 2024 or late 2023. PvE is going to be treated in a really unique manner, at least in comparison to some other games, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it quite a bit with how NPCs work and how monsters work. PvP is not forced. Some classes might have something akin to forced PvP in the sense that you have to kill or do something similar to duality. You can get prosthetics, yes. That's good to know, Seal. You'll find out what the culling game is soon. Briar is not a card game. No, not a Genshin Impact universe. Not a Genshin Impact ripoff.
If it was Genshin Impact, I wouldn't be working for it.
You make a good point. The exact tree on progression. And so the exact tree progression is you start off as just choosing a path, a weapon, element, whatever you want. You can go fist, and then you think of what sprout you want. Then you pick a sprout, and once you pick that sprout, you can either hybridize or pick one of its branching paths, or pick its only path if it has a one path. And once you pick a path after the sprout, you'll get Rosen/Briar, which you'll start off as Rosen and then get Briar unless that class doesn't have a Briar. So you can imagine it like this, with nothing being the very bottom, Sprout being above that, Rosen being above Sprout, and Briar being above Rosen.
Oh man, let's see. Somebody asked, how big do you plan to make the map?
I plan on adding expansions to the map until I feel as if we've added enough, which I will of course be releasing steadily, and I will make sure to stick to lore. I'll try not to make areas too big because I don't want them to feel empty unless there's supposed to be an empty feeling. If it's meant to fit the ambience, like the glass desert or the bunker, then there will probably be...
Sorry, the fact that that's the first time I've heard both of those words as the builder.
We won't be getting into those for a while.
Yeah, glass desert. Like I've not heard of that until now.
That is not a completely different part of Mansionaria. You don't have to worry about that for now.
Maybe you should clear things up.
I've heard about that. If it
Somebody said,
is any
okay,
difference.
this is an interesting question. Somebody asked, will you be able to add restrictions to get on a life to get better stuff? As in, the Deep Woken Echo system. Now they're asking if we will have a system like the modifiers, like you can't pick up money or you take more damage or stuff like that. But I feel like that would be an update after the game comes out.
Oh yeah, definitely an update after the game comes out. Like or I'd add it more like a difficulty system where you can choose different levels of things. And obviously one of them would be one life permadeath because that's a free one. And that's also kind of cool because it challenges people. I love how you're able to freely choose either just that risk. I just love that risk.
Casual or risky. Somebody said, is the game meant to be difficult?
The game is meant to be more difficult in certain areas. It's meant to be unforgiving, but I want to ease players in. I want to make sure that people are able to get a grasp on the game and an understanding of it. That's why I've formulated how I want the testing and then the first wave of players being let in during the closed access era to go, which Stan, I've already told you about. You can second that.
Yeah.
And Taro, to answer your question, there is quests, and they will be different depending on who is giving them to you. Some quests will be class related, some could just be quests to further progression, and a lot of them are just going to be for gaining relation or losing relation. There will be different paths and quests because you can just choose whatever you want to do. You can choose your own story. There are godlike beings, Ari. Actually, I'll save that for later. You are able to add restrictions in the future, as we said before. No, this is not a Rogue Lineage ripoff, Seal. I'm going to call you very mean names later. The release date, Seal, you literally, you're like one of the few people that know the release date. There are going to be rare items like artifacts, except they will act in unique ways, such as being able to. Nah, I'll save that for later too. I don't want to spoil that just yet. The game will be monetized.
You were not
because,
ignored. You were avoided.
I probably just,
Harry.
if you feel like you were ignored, feel free to ask the question again. And if I ignore it a
No,
second
no.
time, then it's probably just don't ask.
I was about to say it
Let's
was
see.
Harry with the God
Somebody,
question.
this is an
Oh, yeah.
interesting one too. Will we be able to deny people the afterlife whilst also gaining power?
No.
Okay. Can you date NPCs?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh
There
no.
will be a
Whoa.
Briar dating game, 18 only, releasing on Steam, spring 2026.
2027.
It's releasing in 2012. Happy holidays. All right, but the game will be monetized through. I don't want to add pay to win or pay to play really. I will
Cosmetics, honestly, are the easiest way to go.
Yep, cosmetics. I'll be adding certain things such as cosmetic mutation on cap, which let's say you have a max of 8 cosmetic mutations. If you buy the Game Pass, that will be bumped up to 15, and if you buy the second expansion, it will be bumped up to 18 or 20. Then there will be emotes that are locked behind Game Pass, and that would probably be it. I might add things such as recolorizations to certain things that cannot be recolored.
Sorry
money.
to interrupt, but quick question.
If it's not related to the
Do you want
direct, just
the
DM me.
layers like separated, or what do you want me to do? 'Cause
Layers,
you want me to
layers
widen out
separated.
the coloring?
Layers separated, please. I for the eyes, pupils, all that. I'd like those all in just separate images because they're
Okay.
gonna be pieced together during
Okay,
customization.
sorry. Yeah.
No
Okay,
worries.
thank you.
If you have a question not related to the direct, just DM me.
Okay, I got a question for the people here.
Yes.
As you guys know, I've been making a few of the models. Right now, you probably noticed I've dropped off the face of the earth. That's because I got an interview for a potential modeling job. Anyways, in the future, when I do have the time again, I'm trying to ask, what type of weapons are you guys expecting from what you're hearing?
That's a good question, actually.
As in, no, not the weapons themselves, but what do you think they should look like? Are you expecting low poly, high poly? Based off of what you heard, what kind of weapon types are you looking for?
What stylization do you want?
Yeah, like what's a low poly game? Like no, not Voxel Blade. Maybe like Arcane Odyssey is on the lower poly side, and something like Deep Woken is on the higher poly side. Do you really think the weapons should look cool and be a focus of how your character looks, or do you just want them to be something you use?
That's a good question because like a lot of rogue lineage weapons were really boring looking.
Oh yeah, no. At 6:30, I'll be doing the both of the scripts I've had. Oh, and the chat as looked at. There we go.
Yep. Presentable.
Here, the girl who plays games. Mind showing me an example?
All right. Well,
because I'd like to see what you guys want to see, because that is a pretty big thing.
Yeah. All right. While you guys talk about that, I'll be answering a few more questions. Being yes, there is Dungeons Mac. I don't want to give them a free helping hand early on, but I want to ease them into gameplay more. Instead of just like throwing them into a just hard world where they can't do anything, I want it to be early game areas are more controlled. Because outside of spawns, it'll be difficult, but if you go to just like a forest outside of Grand Crutha, you'll encounter things like boars and maybe a bear. And those will help you ease into the combat more. There will probably be areas where you can fight against NPCs to train, like a Colosseum.
I don't have image perms.
Why not? How?
I don't know. I can't send images in the.
I had to remove image pams from the channel because people kept flooding the channel.
Good point.
I almost had to remove stickers earlier too.
Yeah, Stan, you have perms. Could you please allow developers, intern developers, head of staff, and lead developers to post images? All right, thank you. Kuzi, yes, every spirits are a part of Briar. There is ways to be helped by spirits, although they won't be majored. That is mostly just the lore explanation behind loot chests showing up after doing certain tasks, being, well, loot. Although in some cases that'll just be loot from certain enemies, like if you raid a bandit camp or that kind of thing. And there is going to be ways to summon spirits, assuming, well, there might be ways. It's not 100% guaranteed because I haven't fully fleshed out the class I'm talking about. But I would like for there to be a summoner-like class that allows you to summon the souls of defeated foes, such as being able to manifest a boar out of thin air, or manifestation, like a free piggy bank. Next up, there is guns, mystical ducks. There is.
Can you manifest my ability?
Legend, if you see this message, blink twice in chat if you are forced to be here. To Dev, says Ericles. Legend is one of the few developers who is paid up front.
The map will only be as big as Fish's budget.
It's only as big as my knowledge. Alright, for rare items such as artifacts. Okay. Some of them will be more rare, and some of them are based more on what you kill, such as an artifact related to killing a certain enemy, a boss, and a lot of the time it probably will be RNG related drops, because I don't want everybody to just have an artifact. Although in most cases, artifacts will be obtainable through dungeons, which keep the item rare, but is a lot less RNG based and a lot more skill based. I love how dungeons work. The gritty, sure, why not? Yes, you can hit the gritty. Magpie is going to be somewhere. Don't worry about it yet, Jack. You are able.
Question.
Yes.
I think I'm speaking for everyone here.
I'm sorry, your mic cut out a lot. What'd you say?
I think everyone is asking one thing.
Alright, I'll get.
Is the game gonna be aesthetically pleasing?
Yes.
So, like, what do you mean? What my
It's gonna
question
look
to
very
this, to
pretty.
further expand on that, is what is the general mood you're trying to display with the environment and
thing.
ambience of the game?
I want a mystical.
You're making an RPG. It has a story, lore, if you want to call it that, and basically it requires you to make a character, and how it's gonna progress with the game. So if you make it too simple or it looks so low poly, you're not contributing to the immersion of the game. Yeah, the classes could be really cool, but if it's not aesthetically pleasing, you're not gonna like it. Because after a while, you're gonna get bored of looking at it.
And that's one of the reasons why I abandoned the initial intention of having a more Fantastic Frontier style build, because Fantastic Frontier, with its style, it did insanely well. But for the type of game Briar is going to be, I don't feel like a simpler style like that would be fitting, because although it is a mystical environment, it's not nearly as just wondrous, I could say, because there will be a bunch of things, although Briar is more based in the realism aspects of looking magical. Example being, I forgot what my example was, but basically, Hunter x Hunter. You all know the vibes of Hunter x Hunter, right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people here have seen it or at least heard of it.
Yeah.
And what that will be including is it's a harsh world. It's not like a soft, cushy world where the heroes get everything they ever want and there's no violence, but it still has the feeling of adventure. It's still something that a kid would look at and go, wow, this looks amazing. This looks fun. This looks wonderful. And
a question.
Oh, yes?
Regarding that, kids are gonna like it. Are you thinking of making Briar similar to those games that are RPG, but made easy for
Nope.
For kids?
No. I'm making Briar a game I want to play.
Yeah, I feel like with the lore we have, I don't feel like going with a game that's as easy to play as a simulator would be a great idea.
Not at all.
I just think the example of a kid would look at it and be like, wow, would it really be what everyone is thinking what Briar's gonna be?
I'll get to that in just a moment, with the stylization being mystical but yet still dangerous. And I'll be detailing how it's not going to be easy or like something that a kid could just pick up and immediately get into in a minute. but I'll be starting with Paper's next question. Oh, it's 6:30, so this is the last question for the time being. You are able to kill gods. I won't go into further detail. Now, in this script I've written out,
Awakening Stars, though. Sorry.
in this, hold on, I'm about to sneeze, I think. But in this stage I've written out, these two scripts, I will be detailing cool things, which will be explaining. It'll help you get a grasp on the game's skill requirement. All right.
Man, I can't believe. Oh, sorry. I just want to say, I can't believe this weapon I made for the deep woken contest went unused. Because look at this.
All right.
Let me.
I'm just send it in like general or something. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
Send it to me. I'm going to read it. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to start reading now.
The Deep Broken Contest.
Yeah, the weapon contest.
Calm down. You're getting too rowdy. All right. All right. This is written out to be kind of like how fucking you can imagine Nintendo explaining a new Pokemon game. Delve into a world beyond your wildest dreams. Mysteries yet to be solved, creatures yet to be tamed, being whose power is seemingly insurmountable, all contained within one place, one time. Within the continent of Manchinari, a large part of the Eastern Peninsula, or rather what remains of it. An unforgiving land teeming with great wonders and horrible terrors at every turn, with few refuges to turn to. The continent is made up of several nations, some bigger than others, and all with their own unique stories. From Grand Krutha to the Mage Cap, the Great Hurlden Keep, or the wandering nation of nothing. Everywhere you look in this world has history. Exploring vast lands, craggy grassy plains, deserts of glass, forests with trees stretching past the clouds, mystical dungeons full of beasts and legend and riches beyond your imagination, with a seemingly unlimited amount of paths for you to choose from. Your story is your own to tell, be it discovering a spear style that was thought to be extinct, enhancing your fists with the magic of the old, factions spanning out.
Yeah,
Okay. I feel like nobody's understanding. I feel like.
Don't worry, this is just the cinematic part. Let me finish.
No,
I feel like I should be the one
I
hosting
don't
this.
really. No.
Yeah, sure, Legend. Do you want?
Oh God.
All right, I'll finish. Factions spanning out from the armies of nations, or to simple schools or dojos. A group hell-bent on destruction, or those who simply wish to restore the world. The world of Briar is full of twists and turns at every path, but be careful. Not everything is as simple as it may seem, though some things are. Now, the second part of this is starting with the main talking points, being systems in the game. Before we start onto the main talking points, is there anything anybody would like to say?
Glad we got here.
I feel like I just like watched a high schooler like recite a poem or something.
That was basically what I was doing. Don't worry. If there was music, you would have liked it a lot more. I promise. All right.
If you put a little bit of inflection into your words, maybe it would have been good.
Bro, reading his love letter. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I'm clowning.
Don't worry about it. Now, we'll be talking about the major talking points. I will skip to combat and magic because that is related to difficulty. Now, if I go to the Google document that has our combat system just kind of like written down, hold on, this is my math homework. Not Briar. This is not Briar.
All right, no math in Briar, guys.
All right. Okay, this is the wrong link.
Good job.
You know, okay.
I'm not even watching the stream anymore.
For me, I'll answer some stuff about myself about the models. If anybody has any questions about the models.
Found it.
And if anybody has any question about the map, I guess ask me. Not that I know too much, but.
All right, yeah, I'll ask you a question. Let's say for a weapon type, say for example something. I'm just spitballing like a spear. How many different spears do you think you're gonna make?
For me, honestly, that is a good question. I was gonna make the starter spear. Turns out making a spear for most people terribly just awful experience. But I am making one, and I believe I'll make around If this is by the end of the year,
Not necessarily a spear, but like of the weapon types.
I plan to make like maybe 6 of each weapon type by the end of the year. So maybe like 6 great swords, 6 axes, 6 spears, and then 6 maybe glaives.
Yeah. Or yeah,
with
or other things if there's
fish.
What is
Am I
the
allowed?
goofiest weapon? It is gonna be my personal weapon, honestly.
Yes, Legend?
Specs. Am I allowed to answer some of these questions?
Of course.
Is there
Because
gonna be a condition of
well, like
cracked
I don't know if you want people to know how far the development of the game is going, or like how transparent we should be about stuff.
Honestly, let's just be completely transparent.
of
I'll
course.
say it right here.
Yeah, for the things that we know, we're allowed to say because Fish has told us.
Alright,
Yeah.
All right,
I'll explain the
then-
stage of development as it stands.
Except for me.
And except me.
As
Okay,
it
then
stands, we aren't as far as I would have hoped, but that is due to my own misunderstanding of how fast things would go along. We have made it quite far into development, and we are stabilizing it very soon, although not soon as in like within a couple of days or even weeks. The game will be in a playable state, and I believe that we will be able to release the first open test, or at least the first constant test, which is when we don't close the game unless we have to for certain reasons, such as major bug fixes or that kind of thing, will be this year, or at latest early 2024. Now, I'd like to make sure that it's comfortable for the developers, so if needed, I will postpone, but we do have a set release date as it stands.
Yeah.
Oh, so
suppose
I got.
if I can.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say if I
just
could get some time to answer the questions that have been asked of me. If you go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Okay, so this one was for a question was, will there be conditions of a weapon like cracked, rusted after constant use?
That's a good
It's
question.
very easy to add a rusted texture. Literally, I could just hop into Substance Paint, change the rusted texture a little bit, slap that into Roblox, and boom, we're done. So rusted could very easily be a state of a weapon after constant use if they do add a system of like taking care of a weapon. But cracked, that one would be a very interesting one, and I feel like that one would really not be an option per se because it would just cause way too much states of weapons all around to be viable right now. Maybe
so
in the future.
I think I could design a system to make weapons cracked.
is that
I don't think that would be very hard.
I could just throw a boolean, yeah, but it's like mostly will the weapon still manage to look a bit, aesthetically pleasing in the way that I try and slice it? Probably, yeah. I'm probably going to be able to do it. So cracked very likely could be a state of a weapon.
I feel like anything that is just like, as simple as maybe like adding a particle or changing material of a weapon, that would be a lot more likely. But
Yeah.
maybe I mean, I don't know because I'm not handling the weapons, but maybe there might be some opportunity for like special variants or special states that would cause a bit more change. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that is the last thing I do want to say. I have been making it to where the weapons don't have a color map on them, so that way the color is easily, customizable. So you can, for at least the weapons that I say, they will have customizable color. However, the handle, the leather, probably won't be customizable.
All right. Let's see. So starting off with the first question that I got pinged in, I sacrifice people on an altar. The map doesn't have any functionality at the moment because I've not finished building it, so I don't know. Maybe? Who knows? I mean,
Why
fish
not?
would, I guess. Yeah,
Oh.
fish. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say
sure.
not given. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Probably not in the current state, but I'd say within the next few major updates, absolutely.
Yeah, there could be a content update that could add that new.
Especially when we had the Hemomancer class.
Taro with his how many areas are currently completed? I'd like to say I'm maybe roughly halfway done with the first major area. Am I allowed to say how many areas there are going to be on the first release?
Yes.
From what I've been told, there will be two.
Mhm.
Two major areas that are going to be pretty big. And I'm about halfway done with the first one. I've got like the general layout ready, and I've gotten a couple of the buildings done. But I still have some more things that I still need to finish the bulk of everything and then go through and like refine it all. But once all that's done, I'll be able to start on the next area.
You're a lot
Um,
further. You're a lot further done with that than it may seem, because like the other buildings, other
Yeah.
than the inn, the clothing shop, and the restaurant, should be just pretty easy to finish because they're mostly just exterior things, which is just like throwing some parts down, making it look pretty.
Kirby, how many nooks and crannies do you think there are going to be? This is to say small details, little areas of minor importance, whatever. If I
lot.
were to look at deep working, for example, I'd say it's good, but my one gripe is that no new area feels very special or detailed. Mr. Fish has given me permission to make little small areas that I might find interesting, I believe. Whether it just be like a small reference for me, a small little hidey hole or whatever. So whatever he tells me to do, and if I come up with anything interesting that he approves of, those could show up. So we shall see. Chances are there will be at least a couple.
And
make sure you hide something behind a waterfall.
oh yes, of course. It'll be
yeah,
another
that's the map.
waterfall, a second
And-
waterfall.
Another map that, or another thing that somebody said but didn't ping. Does the map have a lot of height differences? From what I can say already, yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
now back to the topic of the major areas being two major areas, which is the minor town in Hurlden Keep, which I actually posted about in Lore Dump. If you guys would direct your eyes there, Makua of Hurlden Keep being a deindustrialized mining town built deep into a crevice, yet still lingering above the clouds. It has a very homey environment and is a nice place with wonderful people. Despite being part of the dictatorship of Hurlden Keep, it is run primarily by local government, however is still occasionally patrolled by Heraldian guardsmen, being the place that the first test will take place. It is a rather nice area. I think you guys will like it. And it well represents how certain areas in Briar will look, being very unique building locations. And I love that. And
I will take a moment to say that I am currently really enjoying what's the word? The theme or the style of the area that I'm building right now. It's something that I've definitely not done before. I mean, it's similar, but it's different in its own ways, like the colors and the techniques of how like walls and other things are made. So it's been a lot of fun making it. So I'm sure people will enjoy that as well whenever it comes out.
there are things.
It's very different from like regular locations.
Yeah, and finishing off, which is the caverns. Now, a few of you guys will see something in the caverns and know exactly what it is. And sadly, I hate to break it to you, but you will not be able to reach it just yet. Now, the caverns are incredibly expensive. Oh no, you will be able to get to the caverns, just not what's beyond it. And the caverns are incredibly expansive. It starts off with the Colosseum area, and you are introduced to some of the first non-human but humanoid passive / neutral NPCs, being dwarves. Dwarves are cool, and they are basically cyborgs. I think you guys will like it.
Oh, here's a question I really want to know myself, because honestly, if I could, I'd want to give an idea for mine. But somebody said, "Are there any guilds / covenants that we can join that are that, or do we have to make them ourselves?" Pretty much what I interpret this is as is like guilds and clans in this game itself, as in like say Arcane Odyssey, how they have the Grand Navy or the Assassin Syndicate. Would we have clans like that? Or would it be stuff the players would have to make themselves? Would we have any NPC ones, like the divers in Deepwoken?
Yes, there's going to be different factions, and some of them actually have classes locked behind them. And some factions you can actually be in two or more of, but it depends on what the faction is. If one faction you're in is Taekwondo's Dojo, you'll be able to join another
That's
faction
name,
such
dude.
as a foot soldier. However, other factions, such as the Heraldinian Guards, will block you off or be blocked off because of conflicts between two factions. And that is one way I like that we're able to sort of regulate what hybrids are possible, which might limit customization to an extent in terms of classes, but it'll also help keep balance balanced, and it'll help more classes feel more scarce. It'll help keep metas down.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
You said as an example Taekwondo's Dojo. As a faction, are you implying that things like restaurants and stores will also be factions? Or associations.
There are
Joe.
goofier, more gag-like factions or smaller ones like Taekwondo's Dojo, but that is an outlier for because most
Okay.
factions will
Okay.
be
Yeah.
different groups. Taekwondo's Dojo is just a small faction of people which are learning the ways of Taekwondo, and I personally think that is one of my favorite factions. I love it so much.
Nice.
And
Will players be able to make their own like guilds or groups,
there
or sort
will
of thing, on
be
top of this?
Yes, there will be guilds, and they will function similarly to in-game pre-scripted guilds, because depending on your nation's relations, you may be locked off from joining certain factions if your guild is big enough and considered an actual guild. Because you start off as a party. Once you have enough members and enough funds, you go to a guild hall and you're able to fully register as a guild. You're able to pick a name, and at that point, people can join your guild. And I might even add certain progression points for that, where if you have the guild leader or a certain trainer, you can recruit them to the guild. And then your guild members will be able to unlock certain skills or moves that they would normally have to go out and find some random NPC in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and learn.
Hey, that's not very timely.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Anybody got what's I gonna say? Crap. Here, let me show off a model.
I have like a notepad where I've physically written down questions in case the chat gets dry.
Mutations
Like questions
are
of my own, not from chat.
Kroy, to answer your question, mutations are a mix of both. Some are purely cosmetic because I love customization, but a lot of mutations are going to have upsides slash downsides, although mostly just minor buffs, such as whiskers giving you enhanced touch, which will be a fun concept because with how we scripted, with how we're going to script certain mechanics, such as adding another sense that would give you basically 360 vision, you would be able to, well, see around you, have 360 vision. It would be kind of like a mini map. Like you can imagine the Call of Duty mini map with the little red pips around you and all that. And some mutations have different unique effects, such as wings, which give height to your double jump. Because double jump, as it stands, is mostly just a stabilizer. It cancels your downwards momentum, and it sort of gives you a second to gauge where you are, and it helps tremendously with parkour. But it doesn't get much height. Wings give you height.
Here's a question I want to like. I know it's a joke, but this is something I probably want us to do moving forward. I've noticed so many games get into so much controversy and they drag it out. Say like one of the developers gets ousted for something awful. I feel like in that situation we would just fire them and move on.
I personally don't like people that do bad things, so that would just kind of be like an immediate thing.
Yeah, what we do. Thing is, though,
we sentence them to public execution and move on.
I
Yeah.
give them the wheel. You don't want to know what the wheel is. You cannot.
Let's see.
Briar.
Can you tell us the thing that we've had the most fun working on
I'll
so
let
far?
the devs answer this individually, starting with Legend, then Pizza, then Pop, then Nom, then Twiz, then Last.
Being honest, I think I've enjoyed the most right now of what's the name of the location I'm working on?
Makua of
You get what? Hold up.
Makua of Hroldan Keep. The name is
Makua. Okay. Yeah, you've told me about Hroldan Keep, but you didn't tell me the specific name of that area until now. But
I only recently came up with the specific name because I kind of forget.
Oh, okay, sure. That makes more sense now. Okay. Yeah, I think I've only been working on the inn for the past like couple days now. Mostly because I've been busy with my own real life stuff, so I've not had many chances to work on things lately. But I liked working on the interior of it because, as you can see in the background of the stream, it's got a mix of both really bright brights and really dark darks. I don't think really any of the layout of it was something that Fish initially told me to do. I think it was just something that I came up with, and he didn't tell me not to do it, so I did it.
Mm-hmm. I like giving you creative freedom. It's nice to see what you guys cook up.
I think it's turned out pretty good, even though I haven't been able to finish all of like the furniture and stuff in the area yet. Mostly because I still need a bit more help with that. But yeah, I definitely think that the inn has been my favorite due to the contrasting colors and all the unique ways, or all the unique things in there, and just being able to make it. I don't know. I can't really explain it all that well. But
All right, so
yeah,
I guess it's my turn to answer now. But honestly, the the thing I've had most fun working on so far, I'm still trying to nail down the style I'm trying to give the game, especially trying to get the public opinions, opinion on it. So, like, this is one of them that I think I did have a pretty good time modeling, which was the one-handed hammer. This is in Blender, so it isn't gonna look as crazy in Roblox. I believe I already sneak peeked it before, but this is how the model looks. I just really think I did a pretty good job on this one, keeping it lower poly while also having enough detail in there. So yeah, I'd say this one is probably my favorite model and might be the one I use as a base to go with the style of the weapons moving forward. So what do you guys think? Would you think this style of weapon is something you'd want to see moving forward, or do you want something simpler? Do you want something that looks less realistic?
let's
Like,
say I
what do
think
you guys?
it may need like an adjustment for the regular Roblox textures instead of those like hyper realistic ones, but the
Here,
look
I
of it
can
itself isn't that bad.
I think I can open
I don't.
the
That sounds wrong.
studio file
It
and
doesn't sound bad, or it doesn't look bad at all. I just feel like it may be better suited for the game if it has regular Roblox textures.
okay. Here's Kirby. Uh, let me tell you this. I have to take into account how fat the Roblox character's hands are.
How bad.
Like this isn't some like realistic five fingers thing. This is some blocky beast hitting you with the force of 900 pounds of muscle. So,
Uh, fish.
Yeah.
Sorry, background. Are we showing off any more of the map, or are we leaving it to just the area? Because someone mentioned
If you want.
that they wanted to see. I'm debating it because like it's still not done by any means.
I don't mind. You
But
can
I
show
don't
it
know.
off. Actually, in fact, I'll do it. Hold on.
Oh yeah, you're in the studio, so I guess you could.
I absolutely could.
I'm
In
also
fact,
in
I
the
will.
studio, so I'll stream what current
Uh,
weapons
I would
I
say don't
have
show
No,
too
now.
much though.
this is a different studio.
Yeah, don't show too much.
You
Oh
can
no,
show
I'm
off what
showing the
Kurt made
stuff
though.
I've
Oh,
made.
I remember these.
Oh
I was
yeah, that's
talking.
the old studio.
Yeah. This is what I had for the idea of the two
Okay,
swords.
how about this, fish?
Yeah.
And the colors
I
are like that because you made it so you could edit them like that.
Yeah,
I
like
can
here. This is exactly what I mean. Where's the view node? What's it called? The object browser?
go into Studio and get like a collection of like
Explorer.
5
Oh,
images that
okay.
we can
Thank
show
you.
off if that works.
I
Fish.
say save the images for when the direct is
yes.
over, and then we post them somewhere.
I was just thinking, we can like save leaks of the map for when it's actually done like a full on sneak
Any-
peek or whatever.
Yeah,
But I
parts of
can
the sword can be
I
any
can
color.
pick and
That's
choose a couple
very
angles
cool.
that would be good for the map right now to show off.
Yeah, sure. Everybody, go to the Twitch real quick. I'm going to be showcasing it through the
Yeah, give me a minute
OBS.
to just
Wait, here's it. Oh wait, where's the hammer? Here's how the hammer looks in Roblox. This is what the textures look like when imported into Roblox. Let me lower this. So what are you guys' thoughts on this hammer right here being imported into Roblox?
Alright, so if you look at the Twitch stream, which I will post again in announcements, this is a part of the map. I won't be showing the entire map. I just want to show this so that you guys can get a general understanding.
yeah, here, let me get a couple pictures for you to show off. I'll even give them some editing so that way it's not super cool.
That's the inn. That's the inn, and then we have
Oh, you're just showing it off. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Where's my?
Wait,
here
is
it
this a
is.
one-handed or two-handed weapon?
This is my favorite. This is my favorite house.
The
I
hammer.
love this
I
one. It's
planned
my
it to be a
number one
one-handed,
favorite.
so I might have to scale it down a little.
This is canonically where I live. in lore. I live in this house.
Okay, but like I said, I won't do the images then.
Oh yeah, look at the Twitch stream
And
too.
this one has plants. We have the plants.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
he's showing stuff off on the Twitch right now.
Yeah, and
Oh.
inside the inn, we don't have much of the inn done. If you can't tell.
Oh, this is where the stream's taking place. You can just like zoom up to the exact angle and then just bring it away.
Hey guys, it's the same stream out there. Don't
Guys.
worry. Nothing
Hi.
has changed.
Yeah.
And if we go all the way down here, you can see death, you die, death. Oh, and then there's
You don't fall off the Briar, guys.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna have to suspend reality because this is how most of them are usually made in real life with this tiny head, so that way you can have a lot of crushing power. But to be honest, it might be a good idea for me to just like enlarge the head, just to make it look like it would be satisfying to use.
Dude, people who are just
because
in the
there's
voice chat,
the realism of having a small-headed hammer for that's a hammer, or you can make someone go big hammer, big hammer.
Yeah, people who are just in the voice chat are missing out on so much. Like the Twitch stream, we have the fucking RuneScape chicken, Subway Surfers, everything, dude.
Everybody's icon.
Yeah, here
This is a little bit chaotic.
I tried making the greatsword, but I ended up failing super hard at it. To me, it just doesn't look good. This is probably the one that's, and same with the
Pretty good to
spear.
me.
I tried making a spear, but it just looks awful to me, at least.
They both look good to
What do
me,
you guys
but
think of this attempt at a spear?
could use them for like enemy weapons instead of like what's it called? Like player weapons. And maybe the greatsword could be like a boss character's sword or something.
Yeah, here's how the hammer looks. I am probably gonna have to exaggerate the size.
Yeah, it almost looks like an axe. Almost.
Yeah, maybe up the width of it a little bit.
Here, let me see if I can.
Just make it a
Hammerhead.
bit chunkier.
This is Hammerhead's bike.
Me for real. I don't know. Yeah, you could talk about cutting off limbs. I've been raided before and had like more once, I think, Kirby, but this might be my all-time peak in viewers.
That's
Plug. I do Twitch streams Minecraft tomorrow, everybody. Please watch my Twitch. Please.
Here's here's another attempt at a spear.
Oh, is this the time where we can plug our shit?
If you were in the Minecraft server, you definitely could, Legend.
Wait, do you have a wait? Is your Minecraft server the modded one or is it vanilla?
Modded one.
God damn it!
It's vanilla plus. It's basically just vanilla, but a little bit more extra stuff.
Ugh. I don't touch mods. I'm better than that. I'm just kidding.
There's several mods in the Briar Discord that you've offended just now, such as the hand staff herself, or the moderator battle for. All right. Now.
Yeah, here, let me brighten up the greatsword and show this because apparently somebody said they like the greatsword simpler rather than.
Does it have engravings on it?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
I thought you were about to say, well, would you look at that? We have engravings on it.
Just to let you know, guys, the culling will be very awesome.
I'm half asleep.
I'm not asleep, actually. I'm conscious somehow.
I was playing Tetris for like half of this.
I literally spent the entire day just waiting for this, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is. It has been a full hour. It's about to be 9.
All right, and at 7 p.m.
I've been sitting here listening to people talk for an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have anything? I guess you didn't get to say what you liked working on at all.
Yeah.
Do you even like working?
Pop, I want
Not particularly, but I did really enjoy the magic.
I was about to say, dude.
Briar magic? Did someone say Briar magic?
Pop,
Briar
would
magic?
you like to,
Someone get Curb in here on
the
this?
Briar magic?
Explain the Briar magic.
Yeah. That's so vague. Like, are we saying Briar magic as a concept of like what is magic in Briar, or like how does it work? How can players use it to be awesome?
You see, Fish already went in on like a 10-minute explanation onto how magic works.
My explanation kind of sucked.
No, you cut him off, remember?
Oh yeah, I did, but
No, that
he
was
got he
about
got
spell
a
creation.
good bit out of
That
there.
was about
Out
spell
of
creation, not magic.
Yeah, anything
Oh,
I
my
could
bad.
say, just be rephrasing what he said.
I've got on my notepad here. I've got a good question about magic.
Let's see it.
How does the mana, or you call it Atsu system work?
Boy, I'm glad you asked.
Yes, I know.
So basically, since this is one of the things I don't want to spoil majorly because it is a massive, huge, gigantic part of lore. I'll tell you
So
a bit about.
let me
how it
just
works
put out some
mechanically.
points for just big things that are obvious. So it is called Atsu or Atsu. How's it pronounced?
Atsu.
Atsu. Okay, it's pronounced Atsu, and it is Briar's mana. It is a resource for casting spells. Yes.
Yes.
It's Nevada, not Nevada.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright.
Okay.
And continue, Sam?
It is a resource that we can use to cast spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Talk about it. As gameplay, not
I'll
as lore.
explain it mechanically because I don't want to spoil the lore.
Yes, mechanically, yes.
Now, Atsu is super awesome because you regenerate it passively.
Everybody's just gonna call it mana.
Yeah, everybody's just gonna call it mana.
That's why I'm doing
Damn.
the psyop to get people to start calling herring in advance. I'm already giving it a term instead of red herring. For the full name, it's just called herring. I gotta gaslight them. I gotta legion. Alright, but Atsu is super fun because you see.
Oh, and remember, when talking about it, try and simplify it as much as they can because they're not you.
Yeah.
They haven't thought of the lore. They are just people hearing this. You got to
How
remember this.
How is Atsu as a mechanic different from, say, you have 100 mana?
Now, listen here.
You have 1 day to live.
Yeah.
Listen here, folks. Atsu works in a fun way because it regenerates passively instead of having to be charged up, which is common in some games, including games with magic.
Okay. Yes.
So it's not very different from other games.
Depending on where you are or certain things you may have, you could regenerate Atsu faster or slower, which is pretty fun. In areas such as the Mage Capital, you'll be able to regenerate Atsu insanely quick, and it'll be cheaper to cast spells. Although this concept will likely be limited to certain areas that only have lore reasons for that, and won't be combat heavy. The Mage Capital is powerful because mages thrive there. That's one of the reasons, despite being such a small area, it is so powerful.
So it's basically just mana.
Yes,
Damn.
basically.
Okay, that was the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I just explain how it works, yeah. But if I explain the lore, kind of.
All right.
No, Kusi. It is the essence of the soul.
But
The soul is Atsu.
So it's like
and so what? When you
Reiatsu
run out of your
Bleach.
resource, you just like
Oh no!
you have no soul anymore, and you
there's-
just gotta wait a little bit till you get your emotions back.
There's usable Atsu and there's unusable Atsu. Unusable Atsu is your soul, and usable Atsu is what your soul can channel.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. There's something you really got to understand when developing the game as well. I'm just gonna say this from my perspective. Is whenever I join a game and there's options for magic, I want options to completely abandon all sense of magic and just be big man, big sword, or big man, big fist.
I mean, you can just.
And I am the opposite. I like being big magic man. I like doing magic stuff.
There was a question for: is there any full physical like classes or
There's
builds?
no way to be permanently locked away from using Atsu, but you can just choose not to use it. Just don't use it.
Yeah, there's gonna be like I'm gonna make sure Fish adds an option where you can go full physical, abandoning everything, like Silent
just
Heart
do
from
that.
Deep Woken. Except
You can just
except-
abandon it. You can just not
Deep
use it.
Woken.
Yeah. I don't like how Deep Woken handled it, where you're like some dude who's just like an edgy kid in lore. No, I just wanted like, nah, man, I don't like magic.
I'm playing with a tape measure.
So you say no thanks. I'll use my sword.
I'm turning off my
Hey,
magic
oh my
now.
god, here, let me find it. Saying
You can literally just do that. You don't need like a spec to do that. You can just that can just happen. You can just choose
Is
not
someone
to.
messing with like a big ass ruler in
I'm
the
playing with a
background?
tape measure right now.
Tape
Here,
net.
this is
Yep,
gonna
so
be
ruler.
all pure magic. I mean, pure physical users.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Fun fact: the afterlife is a non-Euclidean space.
Oh, that's
We're
fun.
just using that word. We don't know what it actually means.
I know what it means.
I'm
That's
just
A
kidding.
fair.
non-Euclidean space is a space where the edges of the objects don't come into contact.
That is exactly what the.
No
afterlife
one's gonna understand what that means until they experience it firsthand. Anyways,
There is no edges.
The afterlife is the back rooms.
The afterlife is completely infinite. There is no edges to touch. It's not like the universe where it's seemingly infinite and ever expanding.
If the afterlife is a non-Euclidean space, then you can't stand on the ground.
You fly.
cool.
There is no ground to
But then
touch.
you'd be colliding with the air.
You meant to no, you literally just levitate. You are part of it. But basically, the reason for why you're walking on the floor is because your brain can't handle it. So you're
It's because game
imagining-
limitations.
You're
Because
imagining-
game
Euclidean
limitations.
shapes are
It's
geometrical
because-
shapes, like
Because
squares,
you
triangles,
gotta remember,
circles.
Fish. You gotta also realize some questions can be answered with, "That'd be too hard."
True.
You don't gotta give some like
Yeah.
10-minute rant about the lore or whatnot. I don't think people are too interested in the lore as long as you give them something that's fun to play.
Yeah,
Like
not right
nobody
now.
cares about Arcane Odyssey's lore.
love
They just-
lore.
Yeah,
Also,
okay.
I
You
think
can
if
add the
we-
lore. You can add the
I
lore.
think if we
but
want to
you need
give the players
focus
lore, we should
on-
probably have a different thing than the direct for it, because the
Oh, yeah, of
direct's about the
course.
development, not the lore.
Yes,
It's not even
this is
about the
for the-
game;
Yeah, no,
it's about the
that's why-
development.
Yeah,
This is
sorry,
also
I'm not
us
going
trying to
that in-depth
figure
on
and
lore.
flesh things out. But honestly, I will say this, Fish.
Uh-oh.
Gameplay comes first, man.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm not talking that much about the lore. Only like summarizing.
Yeah, not that
Yeah.
much.
Not that
I'm-
much, huh?
listen,
Yeah, sure.
You'll see when you know how much lore there really is.
So that's it. It's also just the fact that, like, I imagine it's probably hard for the people to get into the lore right now because there's literally just no game to play to get them interested in it.
They want to have game to play before they start thinking about why things are the way they are. As a kid,
Yeah.
you didn't know why electricity happened.
Good point.
Yeah, that's
Now-
true.
Plus, we
For
tell all
some
the lore right
reason,
now, we're gonna
Briar
get
isn't a
screwed.
book that we can just read. So
Oh, funny thing about. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about
I hope not. This is
There's
the
a
game.
Briar book coming.
Briar webcomic. Okay.
I
now,
got
yes,
there's more
there's a
questions.
name- yeah, there's the name system, and you will get to pick your name because why not? And there is families because it depends on what you mean, but probably yes.
Dude, okay.
Will my family have a dad this time?
No,
Oh,
Harold, you put that in the wrong channel.
I say it's my dad is like actively in the other one.
What was I gonna say?
Hi, Legends Dad.
I have headphones on.
Can you unplug them for a moment? I have some. It's
No, I don't have
Howard.
speakers, bro.
Why not?
I have more questions written
Because
down.
I'm broke.
If no one in chat has any. Does
No, yeah.
anyone
If you're in
have
chat,
any?
ask any
I don't have a
questions you
Steam
want.
paycheck yet. I'm sorry.
Ask every question that you've ever had. Doesn't even matter if it's Briar related.
No.
Do it, jiggle. No.
Carol!
Can someone ask me how I'm doing, please? Thank you.
Oh, Carol, you're a tester. You're supposed to be. able to talk to me.
Cosmetics, Kirby. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't
I'm
care
alright.
about you enough to work on cosmetics before I'm finished with the models.
That's true.
I'm going to be like, I'm gonna give you brutally honest answers. I don't care
fixed it,
enough
Carol.
until the game is in a playable state to add any sort of cosmetics for anybody right now.
Player
I
expression
wanna
is
focus on
awesome,
giving a
but
game.
like, yeah, let's play the game first.
Yeah.
This has been steadily evolving over the past 20 minutes.
Yes.
I mean,
Past
when was
hours.
the direct supposed to end?
I don't think we had
I
an
gave
end
it
time.
about 2 hours total, and it's
Okay.
been up.
It really just depends on how we're feeling.
Yes,
We're
Yeah, I
looking
haven't
to
had dinner
testers
yet,
giving
so-
out information on how to get stuff on release for a few days. Like that kind of ruined the start of Deep Woken a bit because people already knew how to get stuff. I don't feel like we're gonna give any YouTubers access to the game right before it releases because that seems kind of dumb. And yeah, that did make a lot of situations in Deep Woken hard for new players because people already knew how to start off the game and then they just started hunting new players who didn't watch that video.
I am
And
already
honestly,
a YouTuber.
the game is
Ah,
either
Nico.
I feel like Fish is going to go two ways. Correct me if I'm wrong. The game is going to be like Deep Woken, where you have to find things out for yourself, or B, it's going to be a bit like Arcane Odyssey, where sure things are a bit like you have to figure some things out, but it's not like it's going to be puzzle. I don't really know
will
which way he wants to
explain.
go with the game's
You
like
see,
whole system.
Neither.
Oh, that is a
Why?
good question. Hang on, I'll answer
Either.
this. Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
answer. How is the building process for a big open world type game? That's a pretty good question. While I would not say that Briar is like Breath of the Wild type open, it is open world in like the same way that Awakening Stars, for those of you who know my games, was, in that there's a bunch of notable locations. So really, it's just, while I'm not doing this for Briar because once again, I don't know the world that well, so I can't plan ahead. For most processes, I would plan out an overall map location, like a map of where everything is going to go, even if it's just like little plastic blocks to show where everything is going to go. And then from there, I pick and choose which ones I want to make at a time. But for Briar specifically, I'm just getting told about where, or what the place is that I'm building, and Mr. Briar himself tells me like
John Briar.
certain pathways that will be taken to other locations, and I set those up, or I'm going to be setting those up, but I won't be building them right away, like the next locations. So right now I'm building more isolated areas, but in a format that they can be expanded upon. So that way future updates won't be too annoying to work with. Kind of like the way that Lore Game did it, where it had a bunch of like, exits and stuff that would just go in wherever.
Yeah, and speaking of that topic,
Sarah Tundra, I don't know.
there's
Being real, I don't know.
No, but yeah, back to the question.
Yeah, sorry, I got
regarding
sidetracked there.
YouTuber information. No, I'm not going to let people leak things. If you find something, keep it to yourself, or you get the wheel. And let me tell you guys what the wheel is. You see, the wheel, I took inspiration from Lord Game Stitches. It'll just be a big wheel around your neck, and it will prevent you from speaking. Everything you say will come out as muffled noise. And that'll be across all characters and permanent until we remove it, or unless we set a time limit.
Ooh.
Are there going to be little Easter eggs like Marcus from the Hidden Village, Zeepoken, or cool little spots behind waterfalls and whatever?
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of Easter eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on adding a couple Easter eggs myself as the builder because I've gotten the big man's approval. But
and there's also
as for like cool waterfall spots, I don't know because I've not made a waterfall yet. But I'm sure I'll be adding some little secret areas like that Mr. Briarman tells me to do. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, here's another thing. I was also going to ask you guys' and Fish's thoughts on this. What would you say, like, this is again in the future, whenever I have things sorted out for myself, if I just added completely random weapons that are also like Easter eggs, maybe skins of weapons or just a weapon themselves that are like just references to other things?
AKA the Deep Woken Bell system. Sorry.
But yeah, sure.
That's such it's so stolen from everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna add something definitely stupid, like for the spears. I'm just gonna make a banana tied to a stick for one of them.
A banana.
You just find another game and then copy its mechanics 1-to-1 for only that specific weapon. That'd be really funny.
I forgot I was supposed to save that information. Briar is a dress-up game, technically, because you can like customize your
Technically.
There's not elemental strengths and weaknesses because, like, I just kind of don't want there to be any.
I don't think that would work very well with the magic system anyway.
Exactly. And I'm gonna answer a few more.
Do they understand the magic system from the explanation they got?
Probably not.
Give them a no. Fish, explain the magic system in 5 words. You have 5 words.
5 words is not enough.
Fully customizable, infinite possibilities, fun.
Okay, now that
is not a description. Those are tags. A description of the magic system in 5 words would be more along the lines of use instructions to create spells.
I got an idea of how to explain it.
I know exactly how to explain it, but nobody asked me.
I did ask you, please.
Nobody asked me to.
Okay, yeah, I was asked to, and then everybody else just talking.
That happens a lot, but I'd like you to explain the magic system, please.
The magic system is inherently simple if you don't add in all the terms and stuff. The way the magic system works is it has a start and it has an end. You put instructions between the start and the end, and it goes through each instruction which has an effect on the spell. You might have a projectile which makes something shoot, and up which makes it go up. You could go projectile and up to make the projectile shoot up. It's that simple.
So it's like Deep Woken modifying spells.
Well,
No.
not. Because
Damn.
Deep Woken
create
modifiers, you
spells
have
from
spell, and then you put the thing, and it just becomes a little
I know.
different.
No, you
like,
create
like how
you
the
create
perfect
spells
lens
from
increases
scratch
range
using
or size.
instructions.
Well, yeah, but
No,
like
you
in
create-
Briar, it's empty. There is no spell. And then you put
You
a thing
create
in.
spells from scratch using instructions. There
I
are more
see.
complicated instructions and less complicated instructions. You might have something that's just an explosion. It might be a direction or waiting for a period of time. It might be a 20-hit combo.
Yeah, so there is no pre-made spells that you can edit. You have to make them all yourself from
There are
scratch.
presets
Yep.
which are made from the instructions for players who don't understand the magic system, so
Alright.
they can still use it. But you can create your own spells entirely from scratch to do exactly what you want them to do.
And there's going to be pre-made spells for certain classes or ones
Okay,
you just simply
yeah,
like.
I feel
you
like
for
this
explaining
guy's
it, like,
how
well.
he's wording it is also a good idea. Is somebody said so? Start, projectile, big explosion, 5-second timer.
Yeah, exactly like that.
All right, so yeah, okay, that
And
makes it
there
a
are
lot
some
easier
more
to
details
understand
to it,
than.
but that's how it works.
Yes, that makes it much easier to understand and get an idea of what it might be. And oh yeah, this one question: how will armor work? Let's try and keep that simple as well.
Armor will give certain stats, and I like stats. They could give bonuses to certain stats, such as giving damage reduction or overall increasing your HP, or they can generally increase stats depending on what kind of armor it is, such
He's
as
asking, will they be equipped piece by piece, or will it be a set that you equip yourself? As in, like, is it just the entire body?
Now, the way I'd like to do it is you make your own sets. You auto equip a full set, but you're able to customize what that set is. You could choose what shoulder pads you want, what helmet you want, what under armor you want, etc., etc. And yes, there's magic armor. And then once you finish, you just click finish and you can equip that set as a whole. You can name that set and you can have multiple sets. But you can only have one set equipped at a time.
So loadouts.
Yep.
Vanity section. He's asking, will there be vanity?
There will be vanity, yes. You can be butt naked completely. Dick hanging.
There goes Roblox.
When we release on Steam, Briar 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Let's see. Can we get emote pack like in Deep Woken?
Yeah,
Can we get multiple slots like in Deep Woken?
Yes. Slots will cost money, except for the
Money.
slots.
Monetization. No.
Emote packs, there will be emotes, and some emotes will cost
Oh,
money.
here's the
some
big
will
one.
be-
I think somebody was going to ask this, but didn't ask this. Will there be, since Roblox is adding this, a Briar subscription?
Yeah,
right,
sure.
I've
Why
seen
not?
news
More
about it.
money.
More
And then
money.
Second, do you plan on adding wind whenever they add it into Roblox Studio
Yes.
to create it? Now, second, will you use any sort of AI when making the game that Roblox provides in its Studio preset?
I forgot that they did that.
I didn't know that
Such
existed,
as
but
creating
will...
some parts of the environment or textures.
Maybe in terms of the
I feel like this
procedurally
is a
generated
question for
dungeons.
Epsilon, actually. He's the map maker. This would be something he would do.
This is a question.
I have been building for 7 years.
Yeah, but
I do not need. I don't like AI stuff, so I
Yeah,
probably won't.
this will be a...
What's this about AI?
Yeah, this is more of a
Roblox
question
is
for
adding AI
me and
to
Pop.
make environments and textures. They already added the texture one.
Yeah, this is more
Yeah,
of a
they've
question...
added all sorts of AI. Like they have a coding AI. I like abusing that.
Okay, shit. The materials one I might use because I suck at materials. But
If you need some materials, generally go to me. I already have Substance Painter, so yeah.
Yeah, and that question regarding AI is more of a question for Pop and I because the dungeons will be procedurally generated via scripting. So at that point, it's just up to if Pop wants to use AI to assist in that or not, which it probably will because AI would probably just drastically improve the quality of the procedurally generated dungeons.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
like
not
we're
how AI
replacing developers.
works.
I was about to say debatable, but yeah, whatever.
That's why it's mostly for pop. I don't know anything about AI. I'm not the brain. All right.
I
He's
think
not the
AI,
Briar. He's not the Briar. Brian.
especially the coding AI, isn't amazing.
Mini
But I
games,
found there's a
math,
really
I feel like
interesting
they
thing you
will,
can do.
but that's later, way later.
What's
Yeah, I believe-
the thing? Pop?
Because the coding AI tries to figure out what you want and complete it, so you can actually write things that aren't code. Like you can start writing a story and it'll complete your story for you.
That sounds kind of fun.
You can get it to generate ideas for you. For example, I had it generate ideas for elements that weren't wind, air, earth, water, or fire.
What come up with? What did it come up with?
Plasma, death, mana, magic, power. That was it. It just kept repeating those.
I mean, plasma
yeah,
is an
it has a
element.
habit of doing that for some reason.
Yeah, let me
I
ask
had
a
it.
way better one.
AI isn't going to be a thing. Like I imagine the AIs that Roblox are helping with are like not going to actually help with things like making random generations. Like they're probably going to be at best like suggestions on how to complete code,
Yeah,
and not actually like being part of the code itself.
That's exactly how the AI works. It literally
Yeah.
suggests it's an autocomplete thing.
And because of how AI works, chances are it might not be that useful for like complex stuff like
The AI takes
procedural
like
generation.
20 seconds to get a long suggestion, and by that time I've already written the whole thing.
I'm just faster.
Just
I'm
better.
just better.
You hear that? AI will not take our jobs because Briar developers are just better than robots.
exactly. Except for the one that is a robot, but we aren't revealing who that is. yet.
AI
Oh man, this
can't
one
take
is
jobs.
interesting. I just asked something to make like a good amount of how will the environment affect the combat? Because I want to know if I can push people into fire.
Yes! I love environmental combat. There will be things such as hitting an opponent into a wall, which will cause extra damage because being slammed into a wall hurts.
Like that thing in Rogue Lineage where you throw people into Grime, you know exactly what I'm talking about with Alu. You know exactly what I mean when I mean the pit of fire. That's
Esloff?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know, but there's this specific clip me and Grime know of, and it's just incredible. And
speaking
that's
of
why I
environment
also
stuff, can I
want
get a domain expansion so I can change the environment?
domain expansion.
I used the domain expansion in Dungeons and Dragons. It was golden.
Because I do actually like the idea of being able to set out your
Will
own
positioning be a major part of the combat, like height advantages and height disadvantages?
Boy,
I feel like that might be a bit difficult to.
That's a good
create.
segue. Now I will use that as a segue to
positioning is always a part of fighting. I can't think of a game where I fought somebody and where I was standing didn't matter. Especially if you're somebody who plays traditional fighters like Guilty Gear, you'll know that where you're standing and where you're moving matters. We don't need to add that. That's just a thing.
Yeah, that would just be a thing, especially with spears. I feel like spears are gonna have a pretty big advantage over a one-handed club.
Okay. There's a man named Spy in chat saying he plays Potemkin in Guilty Gear. Yeah, are you in the corner or not is different if you're gonna land the pop list or not. It's always a factor. Always.
Alright, and fun segue. I love segues.
It takes up the entirety Sorry, that picture, it just takes up the entirety of the screen on the stream.
I fucking love it. What? No way, that's so cool. Alright. Now, delving into the segue I found regarding combat differences based on placement. I would love to talk about that because technically, yes. Now, I'm going to explain how combat works.
Wait, Fish. Someone asked something and it makes me actually want to ask it. Or ask a variation of it. Barrier just said show gameplay, and that makes me curious. Is the game playable in any way at the moment?
Pop?
Like with coding?
Pop?
It depends what you mean by playable.
Like
stuff.
Is like the fundamentals done? Like you can, run around, or you can have a special character.
And you swing and run and jump.
Okay, maybe not swing.
Technically,
Can you
yes.
Technically, that's fun.
I have not seen the main game yet, so I have no idea what's complete yet.
No one
I'm
has,
building on.
unless you were the one who are working on it.
I was about to say I'm building on like a second game that's under my
Everybody
own
is.
creation. So
I made a
yeah.
group studio for everybody to like put their stuff in and continue there though.
It should
You
happen.
can run around and slash if you only want to use dual swords in the first slash of one combo.
I mean that more or less is what I was getting at. It's just like,
And we rob people's houses.
and
I
does
doubt
anything
houses
work yet? Because if
will be
anything
I've-
works, that's better than nothing
Everybody
working.
in
I've been
Briar is
saying
canonically
positioning
homeless.
isn't important for Popbuster. What if you're at full screen? How about that?
There's also the fact that getting hit by anything at the moment stuns you forever.
Ooh.
It's
I made it
it's part
start
of
the
the
stun,
combat
but not
system.
end the stun.
Well, that'll be fixed eventually. I trust you.
It'll be fixed in update 4.1.2. Don't worry.
Briar will have an issue for 3 years upon release. For if you get hit, you're permanently stunned and can't do anything.
Just
I've
don't
been
get hit.
focusing entirely on the magic system.
That's
Yeah.
I
fine.
had stuff almost ready, but then I paused it. It's been like that for like over a week now.
Hey, just continue like after the direct.
Keep going. It doesn't matter. You'll get back to it.
Just continue like after the direct or like when you wake up. Because at the end of this trailer, I'm going to announce. At the end of this direct, I'm going to announce when the trailer is coming out.
Bane of my
Oh,
existence.
God.
There was a question. Are grabs going to be a thing for combat?
Now that gives me a second segue, which I will now not be interrupted.
Oh no!
Right. But yeah, let me listen to this cool music to set the mood for the combat system. Now in Briar combat, there is several awesome mechanics such as M1, which is basically
Don't rant too much.
Yeah, don't
oh no,
get too...
this is not question related. This is a segue back into the script I had written. This is part of the script.
Don't rant too much.
All right. We have half an hour, and I want to get into everything. So, combat. M1 is basic combo. Now, weapons have their own unique styles. Certain weapons could have a 1-hit M1, and other weapons could have up to 4 hits. So you could have a dagger, which is 4 hits. You could have, say, a great hammer, which is a single huge hit or 2
I'm
hits.
sure he means M1 combos when he says just M1.
Nope, only some are combos.
Oh.
So, others have multiple hits in the M1 sequence, but aren't technically combos. It's fun.
Okay.
And then there's M2, which is you can just choose what your M2 will be. It could be a jab, it could be a heavy slash. It is a special, and you can unlock certain specials, and there's different specials for certain weapons.
For now, though, I feel like we should just say in early development, it will be like just a heavy hit.
Yeah, in early development, it'll just be like a heavy hit, or it'll depend on the weapon. Now, M1 plus M2 is a grab. It cannot be parried or blocked, but it can be dodged or countered with a counter grab. A dodge will just make you dodge the grab, and a counter grab will put you both back into neutral. You both clash, and you dash backwards. It's fun. And there is 2 states, being active state and inactive state. An active state is when the player is in the process of performing an action, such as sprinting, walking, dashing, that kind of thing, jumping. An inactive state is when the player is not in the process of performing something, such as standing, just crouching, that kind of thing. And these states sort of change how combat works depending on what weapon you have or what style you have, and I'll get more into that in a moment. You have dashing plus M1, which is the lunge attack. If you dash and then M1, it lunges. Crouching and M1ing is either an attack or a combo, separate from your normal M1 combo or M1 attack. And jumping plus M1 is an aerial attack or aerial combo, which I will also get into more soon. F is block or parry, if depending on the timing. And F
There's
plus...
Sorry.
There's a name for this.
Yeah.
It's called a command input.
Command input, yes. And
What does command input mean?
You're
command
doing an
input is
action
any
while
input
pressing
that requires an action or sequence of actions to perform. For example, instead of the forward button, it might be down then forwards would be a command input. Or holding jump and forwards would also be a command input.
Yeah. Continuing from there, though, yes, so command inputs are the dash M1, crouch M1, or jump M1. And then you have a shove, which is also a command input. It is when you hold F and then M1. It's basically blocking and then just pushing. It could act as a combo breaker because when you are stunned and use it, it just cancels your stun. It breaks your stun and makes you dash back, similar to a counter grab. Although this is not abusable, you cannot spam it, don't worry. It acts similar to a parry though. And it can be countered by the opponent simply dodging, however you will still escape the stun briefly. And it has to be built up over time in order to combo escape, meaning you can't just immediately combo break, because that would just be stupid. People will literally just spam it whenever it's off cooldown, so instead of a cooldown, we are having it be more like a meter. And it is, to cast magic, simply you choose from a spiral menu, which is where you put your spells, and you're able to choose different sorting methods for these spells, such as A through Z, Z through A, or you're able to simply put them wherever you want. And there's favorites. If you favorite something, it'll be at the top of the list. And you just open the menu, and you're able to select any spell you have. It's separate from the hotbar. And then you just cast it. That's cool. And next up would be mobility, which I'll just skim over. Q is dashing or rolling. Rolling if you're walking, or dashing if you're sprinting. Spacing is jump. For the command inputs, it is control and space for a high jump, or slide and space for a long jump. Holding space while against a wall makes you climb. Double tapping space while against a wall, or tapping it once while sliding down makes you wall jump. Double tap space against a short obstacle will make you vault. WASD to navigate. W makes you lunge up, which is when you are climbing. This is still while you're climbing, by the way. So double tapping W makes you lunge up, which is just kind of going upwards fast. And double tapping S makes you slide down, which is, it has no fall damage. And it's stopped when you just hold S. And climbing uses stamina.
This is way too much, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm done with the climbing. Space plus space is a double jump, which is just when you are airborne.
Stop going through each input that you can perform, and rather use a blanket term like command inputs.
Oh yeah,
you don't need to tell them everything. You're not playing it at the moment.
You make
they just need to know the general idea.
Everybody in the chat is saying you're over-explaining. Really, they're not here to listen to the detailed explanations.
I'm sorry, Fish. People are being rude.
The ideas in progress.
Don't worry.
Like,
don't worry.
yes, there is double jumping. Yes, there is climbing. Yes, there is like shoving. They don't need to know how it works.
I was honestly just fucking reading what I'd written down in the thing, this document. I was just like, if it was outdated, I just changed the word. That's it. Now, back to the actual explanation of things and not doing what I was doing before with the rambling. A thing is, momentum can be conserved. Now you see, if you use a lunge attack, you can just conserve the momentum from your movement. If you lunge, you don't just come to a complete slide. Exactly, you can slide. And if you roll, you can keep that momentum. You have a slight speed boost afterwards, and that momentum can die out. And certain things cancel momentum, such as stopping an air dash or double jumping. Double jumping cancels your downwards momentum, which is incredibly good for mobility.
You don't need to explain all the things that mess with momentum, just the fact that it exists. You don't need to tell us that we can stop it.
Oh yeah, no.
I feel bad for whoever has to code that. I
was just giving an example.
Nightmare that's going to be.
It's not hard to code.
But he's just going to work with like body loss, or not body, just regular.
Yeah, like really, like I said, Fish. They don't need to know the mechanics. They just need to know the idea.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I just said that as an example for anybody who didn't.
I know. You want to know it as an example, but you say I know, and then proceed to do it anyway.
Exactly.
Bro's about to read us every line of the script. You see, function with the parameters of. I'm sorry. I'll stop clowning on you.
Pilk death.
Fish must have had some baller PowerPoint presentations in high school.
Not in high school, but in college, a little bit.
I still got my notepad here if you want more questions.
Yeah, I'm just gonna post a few examples of combos in the chat, actually.
And the Twitch chat is kind of dead. That's unfortunate.
It's because we're looking more at the Discord chat.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god.
Here, I got my notepad. I got a question.
Bro, we have Smash moves in this. What?
Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Bro.
Command inputs.
What's the?
Yeah, I still haven't made dinner yet. We have another 25 minutes.
What's more important, making dinner or Briar?
I'll be honest.
Honestly, though, we don't need to take up the full 2 hours.
Oh
My
yeah, no, we're gonna
paycheck
end it
for
soon.
it.
We're basically done.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna answer a few
Yeah.
more questions, and then I'm going to reveal
I
the
still have my
trailer date.
notepad. I've asked one thing from my notepad.
All right, let's hear it, Stan. Just start asking.
All right, here's one more. How will Briar tackle farming?
Farming, like examples?
Let's
wanna
say
farm.
like with irrigation, like fields and like crops.
Oh yeah, it'll be kind of like Fantastic Frontier, where you can just plant something.
Can I make ancient Roman aqueducts?
Okay. That's fun.
In your
If
base,
you, yeah, if you
sure.
want to like.
I think
use
farming
tractors
will
and stuff.
probably be more base locked because it's like cooler
Nice.
in bases, you know.
Okay. I got another question then.
Yeah.
How will Briar tackle farming?
So basically, Briar.
Yeah. No, but like the other kind of farming, like
Oh.
in the gaming term.
Oh yeah. So like, it. I guess. Good question, actually.
Where's the bandit beater happening?
Yeah.
Nowhere. In fact, I'm going to make most spawns random depending on the environment because fuck farming. I hate it. I don't want to farm. I want to go explore.
I
Yeah.
want to only farm. I want farming simulator.
I got
Yeah,
hit in the
'cause-
head. As a
Well, if there's no farming, then if you have your sights set on like a thing that you really want to get, then
Explore.
Yeah,
explore.
exactly.
Okay, all right. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, I got more questions. If nothing
Yes,
has been asked.
ask more.
Someone in chat has asked Briar fishing minigame. Yes or no?
I'll
answer yes. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Just because
Yes.
Stan said
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why not? I mean, there's
You
no
shouldn't
reason
have
not
that
to.
power.
It'll probably be pretty easy to make if we don't make it too
Okay.
complicated.
Here's another one I found. Will tester invites be on like a wave system, or will it just be like generally people can get added, people can leave?
I'm just gonna let people in. I'm just gonna give everybody who's recommended
like-
tester like outright.
So like even when testing opens up.
Oh no, when testing opens
Don't
up.
we
it's gonna
already
be
have a
wave
lot
system.
of testers?
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay.
Okay,
You
think
should-
about it this way. Deep Woken only has like what 12, 15 testers, and how many bugs and imbalance changes do you see?
Now, it's
A
not
lot.
for bugs, it's for gameplay. Because I want the testing phase to be a nice gameplay phase, and I want people to learn how to play the game during that.
Briar has no bugs. If you find one that you think is a bug, you're wrong.
It's a feature.
Yeah.
Okay, but I will tell you, we have this all planned out. I can't say a lot about it because it will spoil a lot of what we have planned out. Stan can confirm.
I can confirm. I'm asking questions that I know the answer to so other people can learn.
Yes.
Oh, I have a question that's divided into two parts, kind of.
There will be a media ban. And yes, Legend?
One, will community things that happen be able to do things? Like, for instance, how in Rogue Lineage there were like some points where some stuff could happen with the community. And
absolutely.
Oh,
I love
and then
that.
two, will that be happening during the tester only phase as well? So
During
like
the
things
test-
that kind of become like history because it happened that early on.
During the test, during closed community, and maybe even during open access.
Honestly,
that's one of the
like,
reasons
yeah,
I want
like
closed
how
community.
we have lore characters. How Deep Woken has lore characters that
I like how
that
Lore
just
Game did
pop
it. That's what I want.
I feel like Lore Game wanted to do it but didn't do it enough.
Dude, the raid on Bulwark and adding NPCs based on people, I loved that. I want to do that, and I want to have different events.
Mr. Briar here is an NPC in Lore Game.
Now, not to toot my own horn, but I am the Bartholomew Zacchaeus Jeremiah Josephine Joan Bernay Ahern Esquire.
Wow, what a name!
First,
I got, like,
second
two more
cousin of
questions.
Bartholomew Zacchaeus Jeremiah Josephine Joan Bernay Ahern Esquire.
Hey, if anybody wants to join,
Isn't Esquire a separate title?
No,
it is a title.
No.
Yes.
So
If
you
anybody
shouldn't
wants
be
to join
including
the
it as part of the word.
military-
You just said that's all one word. Esquire is a title. It
Oh
says
no,
you've
I
got
was
to
just
take
saying
a
it
pause
very
there.
fast.
Yeah,
I
okay,
know.
so-
That's what I'm saying. You've got to take a pause.
Yeah, good point. So Bartholomew Zacchaeus Jeremiah Josephine Joan Bernay Ahern Esquire.
Anyway, while he says this, I've got another question. I got actually only have two more questions that I think are worth asking.
Esquire is part of my second cousin's name, though. That's the difference.
Cool. I will save the good question for last. This one that I will just ask now. I think it's like half been answered. But about Briar customization system, will things like clothing and equipment be as in depth as the face of a character, because from everything that's been said, I know the face is going to be like a really big thing. Like just the head or just the body, but like will equipment and clothing be as in
artistic
depth as that?
limitations say no, because there can
Okay.
only be so many clothing
Can only go so
customization
far.
combinations.
But earlier you did answer that there's vanity
Faces-
sets and you can mix and match some things.
Yes, faces are going to be incredibly awesome.
Awesome.
Especially with the amount of things you have, like anisochrya, heterochromia, fucking chlamydia, or whatever it is that Michael Jackson had.
Isn't that an STD?
No. I just forgot
chlamydia?
the word for it. Yeah, chlamydia is
an
STD.
I'm fairly sure chlamydia is an STD.
It's the skin condition. The one.
Homophobia.
Oh yes, homophobia is a Briar to custom.
In Briar, you can do anything. You can even be homophobic.
You can even be a homophone. But you can have like really cool stuff. I'm gonna a homophone. Yes.
No, not a homophone. A homophone. It's pronounced differently. It's a different thing.
How about a gramophone?
Sorry, a homophone. Yeah, gramophone.
Something that Briar said earlier in chat made me think of like an example of what I was talking about with the community thing. Kind of like how in Rogue Lineage, like early days, someone became named the Mad King of Sentinel because he gained all five all of the super classes in the game before you were locked to only getting 2.
Yeah.
So will things like that happen where people could get like special titles because of their achievements, or
that's actually
like maybe a signature move or something because of just how they handle combat or anything like that?
I will
or like maybe a location where like a grand battle occurred would get altered or anything like that.
Something? The culling.
The culling.
Hello, it's me, Stinlog.
Here's something I plan on doing. I plan on making a special weapon for the person who gets the most amount of, say, XP or kills at the time, whichever has the most finished stuff behind it.
Oh no, kills.
You have just said that you're encouraging people to kill each other in Briar.
I don't like that.
Not in testing, only testing.
I don't like that.
Just to be a jerk.
Only testing. Let this be on the record.
If the combat has bugs, and if players experience bugs when using abilities, that's a big issue. So encouraging them to have the fight each other would be a good idea.
Okay, listen. Instead of encouraging murder, because that would actually encourage people to keep some bugs secret if it benefits them in combat, I would say whoever finds the most bugs.
You can get a little guy that goes into fish, like an ant or something.
I don't think that's a good idea either.
Make it.
Why not?
Why not? You don't want the game to be a bug finding contest.
Good
You want them to be playing the game normally.
None of that shit.
Karoi says it's okay. We're gonna jump each other anyways, regardless.
Yeah, good point. I discourage.
I don't think we need to worry about that.
I discourage that strongly. Yeah.
I want to point out this question specifically since it impacts both you and me. Kirby, will Briar have instance locations like dungeons in Deepwoken or other games with private parties? So I'm assuming he means like going into a separate server.
Yes, please
for, like,
do. That saves so much on performance.
It does, and it'll be for a lot of areas on the continent.
Yes, kind of like server lock.
Arcane
Adventures, how they made the different seas, different servers.
Yeah, and dungeons are an instance server.
I'm gonna have to learn how to do that with pilgrimage because I've got an ant scene. That's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna be honest. I just made up something in my brain from this explanation. This is not canon. I just want to say it. You know in Club Penguin, when you go on a map, you just click somewhere, or you can just like walk to another large location, and there's like nothing in between.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's actually.
Oh, we just have a map where you can like teleport to different areas, like Pop Tropica and stuff.
Or if you just like from the exit that you have from a village, you just arrive at a different place.
I'm gonna have it be like if there's
how has nobody done that in Roblox yet? Like
different paths,
Pop Tropica or Club Penguin thing like that.
I love Briar's map formulation because it basically just forces that. Because different areas are separated, right? And you
guys, I just made Briar with my own brain.
Yeah, and you do a little thingy, and then you're teleported to the next area once you reach the end. It's kind of like if you see a long path and you click it, and it fades away, and then you're in the next area. It's like that.
I think hot loading would be better than that.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Hot loading is when you the area loads as you travel between the areas. And that would save just as many resources, but it wouldn't interrupt the game at all.
I feel like having instance areas is better if we're going to have low population servers, such as around 50 players per server, because the sheer size of that would make it impossible to bump into anybody if we had that system and only 50 player servers.
3-player servers.
Otherwise,
You're
he did speak
right.
of dungeons. Dungeons will probably also be instant.
Here, this
Yeah.
should be a question for the coders to answer. Which do you think would save the most on performance without affecting gameplay too massively?
Of which?
Do you think having the hot loading or instanced areas would make the best impact?
Hot loading would save significantly more performance than instance areas would.
Then go with that.
The issue with hot loading is that you don't get the separate service. Which I get the fish has concerns about that. I don't think it will cause enough lag to be an issue.
Yeah, that's one bad thing about like that's one good thing about instant services or servers is that they will provide or divide the player counts up so that way like if you have really big areas, you want to split it into 2 different instances so that way each side can have like the 20 player max limit. Otherwise, you're gonna have 20 players scattered across a really big map. You're almost never gonna come across them. So in certain instances, I'd say it would be better to go for the separate areas like that, just so that way it doesn't become too empty or too cluttered.
Why not just have both?
Yeah, I mean it's really just a matter of choosing which one to go for
just be
based on the area.
redundant.
Yeah, true. Also, fun fact: 500 players per dungeon.
Oh, but you said earlier 50 players per server. How? What?
Lots of murder.
Okay.
That seems like a idea too big for your britches right now.
You're right.
Okay.
No, we've
Performance
discussed
on that's
this
gonna be so
beforehand.
bad.
Don't worry about the performance, right, Pop?
Dude, Arcane, like Deep Woken,
2,000
Arcane
megabyte
Odyssey, they
memory.
have performance issues when there's 10.
Pop, do you think we can handle a 500 player dungeon?
500.
No.
Easily, especially since we're not Arcane Odyssey and we don't make huge mistakes in the code that cause you to have a memory leak.
Oh.
How so? Wait, really?
Yeah, because you're just that cool.
If you press Shift plus F1 when you're playing Arcane Odyssey, you'll see your instances go up over time. They don't go back down. Something's being created somewhere. He's not deleting it, and for some reason he can't find where he did it.
Yeah, he said that.
So
I'm pretty sure he
kills
said
your
that he's like, impossible for him to find it at this point or something like that.
Fun
I think he made a
fact,
Twitter post about it.
That's why so many things I say you guys might not think are possible, but they are. And it's not just because of like dedication. It's because Pop is he is very good at scripting. Like very good.
Oh yeah, in 4 years I'll be a professional animator and modeler, so
Lads, band.
You put Briar on your resume.
Lads, we're taking you out back and shooting you when this happens. You have 2 years left to live. 4 years left to live. I'm sorry. Count your days.
No,
hey, can I build the entire universe for like $1 billion?
During the process of Briar's full development, you'll see me massively improve, especially in the animation and creature design department.
Hey, that means you'll be able to help Lads out with animations as well.
Yes. And these won't be like your basic what's a game with basic M1s? Like Rogue. This will be animations that'll have some flair to them.
Yeah, fun fact, Jack, the moon is an eyeball.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so Deep Woken?
The Briar Moon is
Or
just an eyeball.
Don't worry about it. You'll find out more about it.
Don't worry about it.
What murder?
Well, I can't really call an eyeball. It's an eye.
And it's looking at you.
I don't mean to be that guy, but isn't that literally just something from Deep Woken as well?
Deep Woken's not really what he's talking about.
Fair enough.
Deep Woken?
Isn't their moon called like the moon's eye?
Ah!
Damn.
I don't dare! Banned! Fired! Give me back the money! I'm taking you to court to get back the $65. Several $1,000s.
Kirby, substantial is spelled with 2 T's, not a C. It's substantial. I know it's weird.
Everybody.
Oh, you got him. Good job.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys are gonna like the dungeons, and please remember.
It was for the laugh. My life is not in danger. I swear.
Everybody in this Discord, invite a lot of your friends because I'll tell you, they can literally everybody you invite can get tester. Like genuinely.
Hey Fish.
Yeah.
Hey Fish. You already invited all of my friends.
Yeah, I just mean people who have like more.
Like
friends
I
than
didn't
other
even
people.
ask. You just know all of them.
Yeah, I invited your brother as well.
Yeah, I don't know how you found him.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, everybody invite everybody that you know, and if they're bad, toxic, they'll just get banned.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I do have one final question that I kind of
Yeah.
like. If no one in chat has questions, please.
Yeah. So basically, if you invite all your friends, that'll be really awesome.
There's one.
Because
Okay, I have a one final question myself. Is I kind of want to make it doesn't need to be heavily into the lore. Could just be something on the side. I want my own guild.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
Well, yeah, we already mentioned that way earlier. Players will be able to make their own guilds or groups.
No.
That's
I
also
want
not a
my own
question, it's a
NPC
statement.
guild.
Oh, that's cool.
Not yet, Seal. Just wait a few more minutes. It's okay.
I want to make
just
my
like-
own cathedral of God.
Seal's just like staring at
As in,
staring
like,
at her
which
girlfriend's
god?
call button with like a
Me.
frothing mouth right now.
I'm just kidding.
It's a drinking mechanic, where if you drink too much, you get data loss. That's kind of funny.
You
That was funny.
you forget how to make spells. You lose whatever instructions you had.
You drop your sword off
You know
somewhere
what?
and just never see it again.
You gotta get a new class.
Also, can I just say that this person playing Subway Surfer sucks?
They do. They're really bad. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Croy,
I'll ask
Croy.
the Briar question then. I've labeled it as the Briar question.
The
because
Briar question.
It is about the word Briar. Hold on. What impact does the title have on the game / world? How would things differ if the name was not Briar?
It's a huge impact actually, and I'll tell you why. If the name was not Briar, Bramble Magic would be called Briar Magic.
What the hell?
And
But you
Classic
just
would
called
be named
it-
something different.
You just called it Bramble Magic.
Yeah.
Probably would not know what a Briar is.
You said it would be
actually.
called Briar Magic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is an amazing question. Will there be an obligatory name drop at the start of the game?
I'm gonna have a cutscene specifically where some guy is like, "This is a Briar," as he's looking at a bush, and it like zooms out and it shows the game's logo.
Definition
Okay, guys,
of Briar, as
it's-
according
it's-
to
it's-
Google.com. Any number
It's
of
late
prickly, scrambled
2023,
shrubs,
early 2024, guys. Open Briar for the
especially the
first
sweet
time.
briar and other
No,
wild roses.
but guys, he said Briar,
Okay.
and then
now,
it zooms
Croy,
out. Briar.
Croy, I'd like you to ask a question with your voice. Just ask a question.
voice.
Yes.
Man, now I need to make a. Sorry,
I
I'm
gotta think about
thinking about other games right now.
5, 4,
Are you counting down?
3,
Wait, that was his question.
2.
The end of
Oh
Briar.
yes, I am counting down. All right, next. Jack,
Gone.
it's your turn. Jack, get up here. Jack, what is your question?
Radagon the Golden.
I was just wondering, is this a Briar?
Oh,
No.
Cookie.
Don't think so.
This is a direct.
Yeah, it's a Briar direct.
Guys, this is so Briar. Leave it Briar if you Briar.
Cussy, get up here. You're not allowed up
Awkward
here.
silence. Let's go.
I uninvite you. All right.
I think I'm gonna go now.
Oh yeah, let me wrap it up before you go. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
There's 6 minutes left, and I want to end it. So I will be telling you all. Briar trailer release date.
Oh.
November 24th.
80.
Ooh. Briar trailer, not the game. But yeah, that's exciting still. For it to have a trailer. That is fun. Yay.
The outro music. Yeah, direct
tired.
is over, everybody. Thank you for coming to the almost 2-hour long direct.
I'm gonna eat some chicken patties.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys all later.
Thank you, Briar.
You're welcome.
This really was a Briar.
Seal.
Okay,
Seal.
it didn't feel all too well, but I'm certain that some things were learned.
Yeah,
Fish,
I got.
Oh,
I think
Fish,
if
I
we
got
do
a
another
very-
direct, it'll be better.
Fish, I got a very
Yeah,
personal question
okay.
for you.
I feel like the next Briar direct we should really
You
Fish.
have the next
you
Briar Direct like
should
a day
really
after the
stop
trailer.
focusing on explaining all the lore currently. The
I
lore
like
is.
lore.
I think the next Briar Direct, we should listen to me, what I said one or two weeks before the Direct,
specifically
where we
just
need
you.
to talk about it beforehand, and we never did that.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I feel like that would be a
posted
great
message.
idea.
I think I posted a message for the developers to read before coming to the Direct, and I don't think anybody read it.
Hey, I read it like 10 minutes
I
before.
didn't get a message.
True.
Homie, I had
couldn't find
43
one.
pings.
Oh, I don't remember where I put it.
Yeah, I don't want to sound bad Canada about this, but you guys sound like you could use a bit of communication improvement.
Don't
Yeah, we
worry
could
about
use a little
it.
Briar.
We communicate about the development, but not about the
I
Direct.
said that we should talk about it before we did it.
Yeah, we
I
can
said
use a
it
little
like
Briar.
14 days
Can I shoot
before
myself
the-
with magic?
You can, sure.
We agreed to
Technically,
talk
yes.
about it, and then we never talked about it.
I
Betty's
remember
asking
that,
the
and
best
I-
of
and I,
questions.
I had a thing written out to talk about it, and I sent it, and I don't remember what I did after that. I've been in a catatonic state for the past 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
For anyone still
The
listening,
fool.
the Direct is over. Get on stage.
I'm gonna leave to go eat now. I'm hungry.
I actually have to do
I
the
have
exact
an
same
interview
thing.
for that
I'm
modeling job in
starving.
2 hours.
Yeah, go get a job. Yeah.
Fish, you still owe me. Fish, you owe me that spec. I'm just saying.
You guys should watch
No,
Deep Book and D&D on
Spec,
the
Book and
Twitch channel
D&D?
Jack Person the Golden every Friday at